selling real one Chevy.
Hey everyone, welcome to I Just Watched. It's your boy Joseph, and today we're talking End of the Road, starring Queen Latifah, Chris Bridges. Before we get into it, I gotta hit you with the usual, which is hopefully you like this enough to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the little bell to get notified. Let's discuss End of the Road. Spoiler warning, I'm just gonna talk about everything, so just stay with me here. From the jump, I cannot stand the color grade of this movie. It is god awful, and it just never got better, and it's never switched up for me, or it never switched. So it just throughout just got worse and worse because it was irritating. Desert villain intro with the two guys, to me was like kind of corny. It's not a huge issue, but between the color grade, between so much little things in this movie that were just like bugging me and irritating and starting to get annoying, it made things affect me more so. It's probably the best way to put it. Also, like, this is kind of like a weird nitpick as well, but like the drive from Houston to Southern California, or California to Houston, I do all the time, like in real life. I'm originally from Southern California, and now I live in Houston. I drive back and forth all the time. I've done it by myself multiple times. It was weird because they're like, okay, we've been on the road for 3.5 hours, and then they pulled over for the night. And I was like, 3.5 hours? And you just got good old boy area in Arizona? But then, like, 2 hours later, you're barely in Tucson? I was like, damn, y'all only on the road for like 4 hours, 5 hours maybe? I don't know. I was like, what time did y'all leave? It was just like this weird part where I like put myself in a situation. I was like, even if you left like at 10 in the morning and you drove 8 hours, 9 hours, you'll be in New Mexico easy. I don't know. I think it was, like I said, a combination of things that were getting on my nerves. But at the same time, some basic research for, like, I guess, real life continuity purposes. Maybe just me. The use of Start a Riot. I love that song. First time I heard it was Into the Spider-Verse. Great song. It didn't save that scene for me at all. I just really enjoyed the song because I was like, I love the song. I listen to it all the time. But I was just like, okay. On top of everything going on in this movie, there's an abundance of stupid, straight dumb decisions. Like, dumb as fuck. Okay, you're a nurse. You know, your father was military. You moved around a lot, but he trained you how, self-defense, shooting a gun, how to, basically react, defend yourself. Like, all this, like, you're setting me up so she could be a badass later. Cool. Understand. Great. I love Queen Latifah. But then there's, like, a consistent level of idiocracy between her and her brother and the kids, like, non-stop. I understand you have to do some of it, like, to push certain things forward, to be the cause and effect, whatever. It just felt like there's way too much. Also, the sheriff was obviously cross. I was watching and I was like, oh, he's a sheriff. This is whack. He's not even a bit of a mystery, nothing. And then he picks him up and he's like, yeah, I'm cross. And they're like, yeah, I'm cross. And I was like, yeah, there's no reveal. It was dumb. And then the flashback to the sheriff beating the crap out of the guy who stole his money from the desert or whatever. I was like, dude, nothing against this actor who's playing the sheriff, but throughout the whole movie, you're moving very, delicately, to put it. In that scene, it looks so just off and fake of him beating up this dude and overpowering him to shoot him with the gun. It just didn't fit the character. He's not Yoda walking around with a pimp cane pretending to be fragile, just saving his energy to, go crazy on Dooku. The random use of lighting bugged the shit out of me. I understand, like, they wanted to go for like a certain, maybe a certain visual, or they wanted certain lights for cinematography purposes and whatnot, which is perfectly fine. But it was just random colors for no reason at all times from anywhere. And I'm not, like, it doesn't usually bother me, but if you're trying to do this serious, dramatic thriller piece, how did it end up in the middle of this weird dry forest with nothing but purple lighting everywhere? Oh, that didn't make sense to me. So many little things that just added up to make this god awful. Honestly, I couldn't stand it. And then the final showdown, the part that brings everything together, it was so stupid. The way the sheriff and his wife die at the end, it felt spoof-esque. It felt like almost a joke in itself on how they died. From her blowing her own head off with a shotgun, or him swerving away from the truck to crash into a tree to fly out. And it was dumb. It was dumb. The way she dropped the gun, she fell out the car. Like, it went from like this serious thriller film that was trying to give you legit reasons and dilemmas with the real world, to this outlandish, almost dumb, or no, let me rephrase, dumb story that went nowhere and did nothing. So it is what it is. I was hoping for more. I actually really enjoy Queen Latifah and the movie she's in. One of the movies I really love for her is Set It Off. I love that movie. I always thought it was great. When I was young, I didn't know what it was called. Like I've mentioned before, I love The Last Holiday. I think that's great. A Taxi. I enjoy her as an actress. I enjoy her as a talent, and even in music. I love the hip hop history reference because she's part of that show that's also on Netflix. But overall, didn't like it. Felt like a waste of time. I feel like Netflix recently has dropped a bunch of okay, mediocre movies mixed with a bunch of just basura movies. But I want to hear your thoughts. Have you seen this? Are you gonna check it out? If you did, do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you feel about this movie? How do you feel or agree or disagree with the recent Netflix films that have came out? Have they been good? Have you loved them? Do you agree? Were they basura or mediocre at best? I feel like they're like, you know what? We're just gonna make okay movies for now. And I was like, oh, and shows and I don't know. It's just they either it's stupid amazing and it's like, oh shit, this is great, or it is like god awful and mediocre as hell. But I want to hear your thoughts down below. Comments, questions, concerns, requests. I love hearing from you. But until next time, stay safe, be well. Adios.